Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're all doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. How you all doing? Look, guys, before I get into it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, all that sweet stuff. Thank you so much for popping in today, guys. Thank you very much. Now, guys, look, I've got a couple of things to talk about today. A couple of new players, new on the block, new kids on the block. Manchester United are looking at the next big thing in regards to players that can fill a void in Manchester United's midfield, in Manchester United's wing-back positions. And guys, very, very exciting news to come in regards to players that could be coming to United. And the future looks bright, apparently, so to speak. We hope so. Anyway, guys. But guys, look, let's get straight into it. The first player that I will be talking about today is Ayoub Boyodi. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Ayoub Boyodi is a player that Manchester United have been interested in for quite a while. Many of you guys have spoken about Boyodi over the last few months. I have spoken to him. I spoke about him last year. And Manchester United are very interested in this player, the centre midfielder, the central defensive midfielder. Guys, is only 17 years old. Only valued about 28 million euros, guys. Manchester United are incredibly interested in this guy. And apparently, Man United have had scouts watching Boyodi over the previous weeks, guys. So this is very, very interesting. This does have wheels on it that Man United are looking to bring in an athletic, a quick, a young midfielder that can actually be a solid inclusion into that midfield consistently. Now, this guy already has 5 caps for the French under-21 team. And look, guys, look, I know, I understand what everyone's saying about the experience. We need experience in there. We need to bring in some Premier League proven players. But that's not to say that we forget about what's up and coming around Europe. And these players are potentially generational players, guys. Now, the way the Man United midfield is looking at the moment, in particular the CDM and the CM positions, we are looking at losing quite a few players during the summer. I actually predict that Man United are going to lose up to 3 players in that midfield. You're looking at Mainu, Bruno, Ugarte, maybe even 4 guys with Casemiro. It could be, you know, we're going to lose a few players in that midfield, and Man United do need to replace them with talent. Ayoub Boyodi is young, but he's incredibly talented, guys. Absolutely brilliant player. He's contracted to 2027, 28 million euros, starting price. Decent price, guys. But obviously, when Man United come calling, we all know what happens when Man United come calling, don't we? The price increases, don't we? Doesn't it, guys? It increases. So one to play by ear, one to look out for. This could be a thing coming up this year, guys. So wait and see. Of course, let's see what happens by January. We will hear a lot more in regards to this. So Ayoub Boyodi, Manchester United, 28 million euros, guys. Could be a thing. Could be a thing. Thank you, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're good, guys. Good to see you, guys. Morning, Dembo. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Licha Martinez should be back by October, my friend. October, Licha Martinez should be back in the team. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he will be back and we'll be up and running, guys. We need Licha back, of course. That's another problem with our squad at the moment. We do have a lot of injuries and... in regards to Licha Martinez, do we trust Licha Martinez, guys? And I got a question below. Which are the 5 players that you would get rid of? Not get rid of, but possibly part ways with in the summer? Let me know. Or January. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Morning. Ineos want to sign young players when some of the fans have no patience for that. They don't. And this is why I would urge Ineos to do this. Ineos need to have a balance on what they do. They can bring in young players, but as Alex Ferguson used to do, they used to bring in experienced players as well. So you bring in a young player and you have an experienced player beside them that can nurture that young player. I think that's what we need to do. And it's something that we've not done. You can't just bring in a bunch of youngsters and expect them to be, win leagues and win major trophies, because even under Sir Alex Ferguson's days, when you couldn't win anything with kids, we had the likes of Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, Eric Cantona, Andy Cole, Ryan Giggs, who's been there for years, Dennis Irwin. And this is what we're talking about, Steve Bruce. What I would say is that, look, we need to bring in young players, the best young players out there, the ones that are up and coming. But we also do need to think about experience as well. In particular, Premier League experience. Now, there's no coincidence that Cunha and Mbeumo are doing very well for Man United. And I would say that Mbeumo's actually set the house on fire. I actually believe that Cunha obviously got injured, but I think that Cunha, he started off really, really well, in my opinion. And that is Premier League experience. That's Premier League experience. Not only Premier League experience, it's up here. It's mentality. It's mentality And you know what? We need more players like that. Of course we do. But we also need to bring in the next up-and-coming players as well before other teams get them. You know, in particular, Liverpool, Man City and stuff like that, of course, guys. But nowadays, it's very difficult to win things with kids. You can't because obviously every single team these days has money. Every single team has a good midfield. Most teams have class players and stuff. So it's very difficult. Big up, Gary. Good morning. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you, Sal. Good to be with you as well, my friend. Heard that Norwegian kid is very talented. Yeah, I'm going to get into that now, guys. Antonio Nusa, you may have heard of him. Antonio Nusa is the Norwegian international, 20 years old, already 6 caps for Norway, 5 goals, is another player that Manchester United have been scouting over recent weeks. He's valued again at 28 million euros. Will go up to about 50, 60 easily, guys. This guy is a very, very talented player. He is a left winger. He is a right winger, so he can play both. So he could probably play the left wing back position or the right wing back position. 16 caps, 5 goals, already incredibly talented, already got a huge future ahead of him, and a player that I admire immensely. And Antonio Nusa, of course, is burst onto the scene only recently, only 20 years old, of course, guys. So it's another one that I would say, yeah, that's one for the future. It's a bit like when Naipan came burst onto the scene and we didn't get that deal done and Manchester City signed Naipan and then they loaned him out and ridiculous things like that. So what Man United need to do, they need to get these proper good young players, not players that you've never heard of. And you know what, they bring them into the team and it's very difficult for them to adjust. Players like Nusa, they're young and experienced. You know what I mean? And that's what you need, you know, like people 16 caps for Norway, 5 goals, you know, that is young and experienced. And I think that is what Man United need to do. Young experience would be perfect, guys. It's a hard match. It's a hard thing to do with having a young player with the experience. But obviously, Antonio Nusa fits the bill perfectly, guys. Absolutely. Contracted to 2029, 28 million euros. Possibly 50, 60 million price tag for Manchester United tax and all that. So that is one, of course, to keep an eye on as well. So a couple of players there that Man United have been scouting in recent weeks. Look, it doesn't take a rocket science to know that these are going to be great players. We know they're going to be great players. And there aren't many young players coming through the ranks that you would say, wow, these players we should really look at, you know, but these two are. And I think Man United do need to get that. And if Man United are looking to build for the future, the likes of Casemiro, the likes of Ugarte, the likes of these players, even they need to be shifted out of the team sort of thing and just moved on. Unfortunately for Ugarte, I feel sorry for Ugarte in regards to the midfield position, in regards to Bruno. I do feel that Bruno is a big issue in there. Guys, I do feel like he does unstable the midfield a little bit. I'm gonna stick to that because I think that every midfielder that comes in doesn't seem to be doing well, probably because we haven't got a settled midfield partner. And obviously, if you have got a settled midfield partner, and that's Bruno is very ill-disciplined in possession, of course, guys. And that is not a diss. That is not slagging the player off. That's just basically saying that, you know what, he doesn't fit into the number 8 position. He should be playing in number 10. Now, Gabriel Bondahol was talking about this, I think, a couple of days ago, saying that, oh, it's nothing to do with Bruno being at the number 8. I don't believe that. So then we might as well put Casemiro as a centre-back then and go with that, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where players play at the end of the day. We might as well get, you know what, let's get Dorgu and play him up front. He can score a few goals up there. It doesn't matter, does it? It's really ridiculous, some of the pundits that are out there. Look, the players need to play in their correct positions rather than shoehorning players into the wrong positions, and then they end up being criticised because they're not playing well. And that is exactly what's happened with Bruno Fernandes, guys. And Bruno Fernandes, let's be fair, guys, hasn't played well this season, has given away a few goals this season. You know what I mean? Guys, good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Is that Sal? Big up, Kenny. Yes, just joking. Good to see you. A brand new face of Sal. Yeah, I think I had a shave, guys. I look like a wildebeest, and that's the problem, you know, guys, because I've been incredibly busy. I've been incredibly busy. As people know, I work with a football team over here. I have a young football team over here, so I'm working with them at the moment as well. So I've been incredibly busy running around, guys. So yeah, I thought I'd just go get rid of it. There you go, Scooby-Doo. Absolutely, that is what it is, guys. Hello, Chassam. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good morning, Daryl. How you doing? Morning, Sal. Clean shaven today, mate. Only a little bit of there. Look, a little bit of there. I haven't missed it. I did know it's there. I do know it's there, but just a little bit there. I had to have a little bit of a clean shave today. Thought we'll go commercial. Guys. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it is. That's it. Daryl, big up Daryl. Jason, I'm selling Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno, Bayende, and Shaw. I don't think I would disagree with that. I think that's basically it. Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno, Bayende, and Shaw. I can't pull it any better, mate. I cannot pull it any better. And those players have to be replaced as well. Obviously, I spoke about Federico Di Marco a few days ago. Man United are looking for an experienced wing back. I do think Man United need two. They need a left wing back. They need a right wing back. Someone who could challenge on a left wing back with Dorgu, and someone on the right wing back. Because I would also sell Dalot. I would sell Dalot. I don't think Dalot's a right winger. I think he's a fullback. He's just not very good, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. I think we do need to sell him. I think we need to move on from Diego Dalot, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Benny. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well, Benny. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you, of course. Kenny, Cunha to break the deadlock against Brentford. I hope so, brother. I hope so, Kenny. I really do hope so. I hope Man United finish the game. I've got my match preview tomorrow, and I'm going to be going through the team that I would pick and the prediction that I would do. I am confident. Just like I was confident against Chelsea. But what I'm a little bit apprehensive as well. I'm a little bit cautiously confident because when we watched the Chelsea game on Saturday, I was a bit like, yeah, we did well. We won the game. We started well, but we always start games well. But then they went down to 10 men. So I couldn't really analyze the game as effectively as I would have liked to. And I hope that we start the game like we started against Chelsea, because we did start like a house on fire. And if we do, I think we can pick out Brentford. Brentford are not the same team. Hopefully, they're not anyway. But as you know, that Man United, every time Man United come to town, everyone wants to beat Man United. Everyone raises their game. And you know the red and white stripes. So Brentford becomes Atletico Madrid all of a sudden, doesn't it, at the end of the day? And, and that's what I would say. So, but however, I would also say this, is that Man United need to go in that game with an element of belief, go in there with as energetic, as passionate as they went into the game against Chelsea, because we all know that Man United can turn up and are known to turn up against these teams like Chelsea. This is why Chelsea haven't beaten United since 2013. That Man United have a habit of turning up against these teams. It is the Brentfords of this world. It is the Brightons of this world, the Newcastles, the Tottenhams, and these teams that Man United need to try and win as well, because at the end of the day, you get the same amount of points, don't you? Absolutely. Big up, Kenny. Chasen, why does the club seem to have no interest in bringing new young South American talent? Chasen, this has been like this for a few years now. Obviously, we do the odd signing in regards to like Diego Leon, but Diego Leon hasn't really played. I'm a bit surprised by that, why he hasn't played. I know that Diego Leon is a very good player. I think he is. Why Man United don't bring through South American talent, I don't know. And this has been a theme for many, many years. Man United is a few and far between the amount of South American players that we brought to the club. Obviously, you think about Chicharito, who's Central American, but you think about Diego Forlan as well. We haven't really done it effectively. And this is something that we were talking about during the transfer window about Man United scouting in South America. And I agree with you 100%, because there is talent, in particular in Brazil and Argentina and Paraguay and Bolivia. And, there is talent there that needs to be looked at, Man United just seem to be very one-dimensional. They're very tunnel-visioned in what they do. They don't look left, right. They just think that what's the easiest kind of deal to do. And I think that's basically what it is. Oh, it's just easy, rather than, and I don't understand it, because there is YouTube. There's things out there that, what you can use at your advantage. I don't know why they don't do it. I was a big fan of Mastantuono. Of course, Mastantuono now is playing for Real Madrid. I think we were talking about him. We should get him. We should try tooth and nail to try and get him. But obviously, Real Madrid got involved and got him. But we could have got him a lot earlier than that. We could have cut out that middleman and just got him earlier, guys. I really do think so, of course. And when you're thinking about Real Madrid, and I'm thinking about Gula as well, another player from Turkey, that I'm a big fan of. There's a lot of players out there that we're not scouting effectively. We do seem very one-dimensional, and I don't think we are scouting as effectively as we can. And when we do, we are very slow in doing the deals. So we obviously, like with the thing with Mastantuono, we had representatives going to see Mastantuono, going to in view of signing Mastantuono. But there you go. Obviously, Chelsea signed a couple of players. Is it Selmino? Is it the player Selma who signed for them, the defender who came from Argentina as well? They've been doing it. I don't know why Man United don't seem to be on that ball. Big up, Jason. Good to see you. Of course. Morning, Stephen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I heard Nusa is absolute talent from Club Brugge. Yeah, he's an absolute talent. And this is exactly what we're talking about. We spoke about Nusa a year ago, but this is what we're absolutely talking about, Kenny. Cut out the middleman. Like, why didn't we sign him whilst he was at Brugge? And this is what I'm talking about, Man United. Man United need to have their ear to the ground because it doesn't seem like we got our ear to the ground. It looks like we're going after the, how would you say it? The already known quantity, the known like believers, of course, guys, Elliot Anderson. I mean, and this is what's predictable about Man United, right? And I'll tell you about this. This is what's predictable about Man United. Elliot Anderson has a few good games for England, and then suddenly Man United are interested in Elliot Anderson. Where's the scouting in that? Because anyone could do that. Anyone could scout like that. Why don't Man United spot Elliot Anderson from a while ago and then sign Elliot Anderson whilst he was at Newcastle, for example, and sign him from there? I just don't understand it. And, you know, if they want me to work at Man United to be a scout, I will be a scout for them. And I guarantee you, in the first week, I'll find them 10 players that are affordable and incredibly talented. But you know what? They won't want someone like me. Mark, good morning. How you doing, my bro? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, Sal, and the community. How are you, my friend? Very well. Good to see you, my friend. Keep up the great work, my friend. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well and hope you're having a blessed Wednesday, guys. Remember what Wednesday is. Let's not forget what Wednesday is. Wednesday is Champions League winning day. You remember when we won the Champions League in 98, 99? It was a Wednesday. Remember that, guys, and I'll never forget it. That's why I got this little affiliation with Wednesday. I've got this little bit of, how would I say it? Sentimental, nostalgic feeling with Wednesday. I don't know about you, but I remember it very, very well. So I've always had a soft heart for Wednesday. Absolutely. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, my bro? How you doing? Good to see you. Of course, good to see you. The summer, I would get rid of Bruno, Casemiro, De Gea, Dalot, sorry, and Maguire for the January window. Get rid of Ugarte. I agree. Look, this is what I would do. And guys, this is what I would do. I agree with Joe there, 100%. I would get rid of Luke Shaw. I'd probably get rid of Harry Maguire. I'll probably get rid of Dalot. I'll probably get rid of Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno. I'll probably get rid of those players, you know. And I'll probably move on Mason Mount. And the reason I move on Mason Mount, that's 7 there. The reason I move on Mason Mount is because I don't trust Mason Mount to be fit. Mason Mount is never fit. He's never fit. So we need to think about moving these players on. Because I want to ask you guys the question, even with Harry Maguire, and I know he's highly rated. I know people like him. But what are we trying to do here? What are we trying to achieve by keeping Harry? What are we trying to achieve by keeping Dalot? What are they going to do what's different to 5 years ago? And that is the one question that I would pose to people. What are we going to do right now, what these players couldn't do 5 years ago? Are they all of a sudden going to miraculously become great players? Are they all of a sudden going to find a new lease of life and be like, yeah, where did this come from? I'm actually quite good. Let me go and win the title. I don't think they're going to do that. And this is why I would think about just completely clearing ship and just getting a whole new squad and building for the future. That's what we need to do, guys. I really need to do that, of course, guys. Absolutely. Guys, we have got a massive game on Saturday. It is an early kickoff, and I'm delighted it's an early kickoff, and I'm really excited about the game, guys. You cannot fathom how excited I am about Manchester United on Saturday, guys, because I'm really curious, guys. I'm really curious about how Man United perform on Saturday because obviously I'm not trusting what happened against Chelsea too much. I'm delighted about the Chelsea result. Don't get me wrong. I'm over the moon about the Chelsea result, but I'm very, very excited about Saturday. And I think that Man United could go out there, win that game, and then set us up nicely for the Sunderland game. You know, set us up nicely for the Sunderland game. A little bit of a downer I would bring to the show. I don't like to bring downers in, but I am a very, very disillusioned by some of the fan base in regards to their treatment. Well, not treatment, but a verbal diarrhea that they've been talking about Seny Lamens. A lot of these players, a lot of these fans are very one-dimensional when they're thinking. So they're thinking like this, right? Oh, if Seny Lamens can't get in the team ahead of Bayern there, Seny Lamens must be shit. And I'm thinking to myself, are these guys listening to themselves? It's not about Seny Lamens. Oh, he can't get in front of Bayern there, so he must be shit. And this is the ridiculous comments that we hear from so-called experts. Listen, look, Lamens is a young goalkeeper, not very young, 23. He's 3 years older than De Gea was. But one thing I would point out, and I've watched the Lamens for a whole year, and I think Lamens is better than Bayern there. But one thing I would point out is that if I was to criticize Ruben Amorim is incredibly cautious in regards to the way he picks teams. Now, you know as well as I do, if Mason Mount is fit on Saturday, Mason Mount plays ahead of Sesko. You may think that's wrong. I know it's wrong. And that is what I'm talking about in regards to being cautious. Some may say cowardice. Some may say he needs to do better. He needs to be more confident. He needs to be more bold in his selections and stuff like that, like Sir Alex Ferguson was. It's not that Sen Elements is not good enough. You know, it's a very one-dimensional way to say it, guys. And it's the fact that I think that Ruben Amorim is being cautious. Now, watch this, guys. Watch this. And you know as well as I do that this is going to happen. Bayinde will make a mistake, right? Which he, God forbid, but he probably will make a mistake soon. And I looked at the Arsenal game on Sunday against Man City, and I saw those crosses coming in for Arsenal right on the dead ball line. And I said, if Bayinde was in goal, he would have conceded a couple of goals. And Arsenal would have won that game. But you saw Donnarumma punching out the ball. I guarantee you this, bringing it back. I guarantee you this, that if Bayinde makes a mistake, Lamens is going to come into the team. I can predict it. That's what's going to happen. He's waiting for the inevitable to happen before he brings Lamens into the team. He's waiting for the inevitable. He's feeling like, oh, he's good, but I don't really want to play him. But he's young. I ain't played him before. You know, he's a new goalkeeper. You can't be like that at Man United, guys. You cannot be like that. You know, you have to be bold. You have to be brave at Man United. You cannot wait for something to happen to play the player. Because that mistake could cost you dearly at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? So I would say that Sen Lamens needs to play, and the fans need to understand and do a little bit of research before they start saying, oh, you know what? Bayinde is playing, so Sen Lamens must be shit, isn't it? He must be shit because, you know, and blah, blah, blah. All this IQ thing is very, very low, you know, and people know who they are. Jason, look at Masson-Twine for Real Madrid, 18 years old, looks class, absolutely. Yeah, just mentioned him. Good morning, Gray. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Please, everyone, can you smash the like button, subscribe buttons, and show appreciation to Sal and a great channel. Let's get to 50 likes. Guys, 50 likes is the minimum every single morning. That is the minimum at the moment. We need to get to 50 likes. I've got 89 in the house right now, guys. Let's get to 50 likes, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, guys. Let's get to it. Benny, United are known for giving young players an opportunity if they are good enough and they are old enough. And that is what exactly, if you think about this, right? And I know about what happened to Alex Ferguson. I know that we had a number of proven players in the team when we brought through the class of 92. And people don't need to tell me that. But at the end of the day, we're looking at a team right now that came 15th last season that, you know what, needs an injection, needs something, you know what I mean? And I don't think you can go wrong with playing a few youngsters. I'm not saying start 8 youngsters. You have to start all of them. You know, I'm saying just keep a few on the bench. The Mentato, these players, the positions that we need. Mentato, we need a right wing back, right? There's one right there for you. Play him. Thwaite, play him. Kolungi, Fredrickson. All these players, right, who are coming through. Shea Lacey, Ibrahimov, you know, Musa. These players coming through. Give him a chance, guys. I'm really looking forward to JJ Gabriel. I know that JJ Gabriel is very young at the moment. I don't think he'll be here. He might probably next season, he might get in the squad and probably become Man United's youngest ever player. You know, keep looking at him because at the end of the day, if Barcelona thought like Man United, right, and they thought like, oh, you know what, he's too young, Barcelona wouldn't have Lamine Yamal or Pedri. You know, at the end of the day, and this is what we're talking about. You know, Barcelona won't have Iniesta and Xavi. You know, and players like that of the past. You need to take risks sometimes in life. Stephen, United's midfield is awful. Every team just walks through it. It's going to be a long, hard season. Look, at the end of the day, my friend, I believe that Man United's midfield is not strong. And this is my biggest concern for Saturday. This is my biggest concern for Man United going forward in the next few weeks. I just don't think that our midfield is strong. And it's not. And even when we played a 4-3-3, we were Bagel FC. And we still got those same players there, guys. We still got the same players there. You know what I mean? So how can we change? Now, if we still got the same players that were Bagel FC at the end of the day, you know? I do think Man United need to revamp that midfield. I think anything will be an improvement, in my opinion. I really do. I don't think Bruno's a number 8, and I would argue that with anyone. And I think Bruno needs to play a number 10, or Bruno shouldn't be playing at all, in my opinion, because I just feel like it doesn't complement the system, in my opinion. Dylan, Salman Khan, big up, Dylan. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Daryl, just need the suit now, Sal, bro. Absolutely, big up, my friend. Big up. Sal, my outs. Mount, Shaw, Maguire, Bayender, Bruno, bonus player, Dalot. There you go, Gary. Can't disagree with that, my friend. There is quite a few players that need to leave this football club. There's more than 5. I know that. There's probably about 10 if you really count it up, of course, guys. Absolutely. Benny, Ugarte is playing as a CM by himself. Bruno leaving the exposed all the time. I think Bruno is a good player, but he's not disciplined enough to be the number 8. Been saying it forever. I think we all have, Benny, been saying it forever. You know, I've been banging that drum for months, it seems, isn't it? That, you know, people think I'll come on this show and I think, you know what, that number 8 position, I'm going to target Bruno. No, because I know that Bruno's a good number 10. No one needs to tell me how good Bruno is as a number 10. We know he's a good number 10, but he's not a number 8. And like I said, you can't bring in a striker and move him into midfield. You can't bring an attacker and move into midfield at the end of the day. It's just like, let me give you an example. It's just like when Wayne Rooney played in midfield. Do you remember when we moved Wayne Rooney into midfield? Do you remember? And it didn't work. It didn't work. No matter how talented Wayne Rooney is, the midfield position didn't work for Wayne Rooney. He was not a midfielder. He's an attacking player. He's a striker or a false number 9. And that's what it is. It doesn't work. Just because they got good touch and they can pass the ball a little bit doesn't mean you're a good midfielder. Midfield position is a very, very important position in the pitch. I say it's the engine of the team. And I think that you need to be experienced at that position to play that position. You need to have played it your whole life. You know, and I think that is incredibly underrated. And I think it's incredibly naive that we keep starting Bruno in that midfield. Don't think that Brentford won't be licking their lips on Saturday with him in midfield, because they will. They know. His stance, his positional play is not good enough to play in midfield. He's not a natural midfielder, so to speak. A great attacking player, brilliant attacking player, but Bruno can't pass from deep. He can't bring the ball out from deep. And that's why he always gives the ball away or either kicks it out and touch. And that's the biggest problem I have. And I don't want this being a problem, because it's an unnecessary problem, because we got a player there that can play that position in Kobe Mainu. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't like that, if he don't play a 4-2-3-1, then, you know what I mean? If you want to play Bruno, if you're desperate to play a Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo, play at that formation then, exactly. Ephraim, Sal, Dalot is back. Yeah, Dalot's back from injury, guys. That is not a good thing, to be honest with you, guys. I'm only joking. I just don't think Dalot is the right wing back. And, you know, I bet your bottom dollar, guys, that on Saturday, Dalot plays. I guarantee you plays. Dalot straight into the team. Boom. Straight into the team. Maybe if Sene Lamen's name was Bruno Lemerish, he would be playing in the bloody Man United goal by now, because he'd be Portuguese, so he'd be playing in the goal. Big up Bruno Lemerish, because he'll be playing in the goal, not Sene Lamens. You know what I mean? It's Santiago Lemerish. All right, and that is that's what he should have named himself, because he'd be playing in the Man United first team by now. Of course, guys, absolutely. Ephraim. Sal, yeah, Dalot is back. Back and not meaner than before. Peace and blessings, everyone. Big up, RJ. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed, my friends. Absolutely. Eric, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Ugarte and Mainu double pivot. I agree. Bruno and Mbeumo as the 10s and Sesko up front. If Kobe doesn't get minutes in the next 2 games, I think we lose him. I do. I would drop Bruno for Cunha. I think we need to move forward. I really do. I think Cunha's better. I think Cunha's better now. I think he will be better. I think he's better in the aggression. He's better in the press. I think he's better. I would start dropping Bruno slowly. It should be Cunha and Mbeumo for me. In my opinion, Bruno's had his opportunities at Man United. And I think we need to slowly moving on from Bruno, in my opinion. There's some very good players in Mexico. Yeah, they're very up and coming, guys. Yeah, very up and coming, of course. It doesn't Martial play for Montevideo, isn't it? In Mexico, he plays for them at the moment. What a move for them. I mean, what a fall from grace for Martial, for goodness me. It's mad, isn't it? Dembo, Alti, Onana, Shaw, Dalot, Ugarte, Sancho, Rashford, Højlund, Casemiro. You asked me 5, I've given you 9, mate. There you go. And people forget this, absolutely, Dembo. People forget that we still have Rashford, we still have Sancho, we still have bloody Onana at the football club, guys. They could be walking into the football club next season. My goodness me. Oh, here we go. Back like a boss. Back like a boss, you know. They could be back next season, guys. You never know. Benny, would you love to see Sesko get off the mark as well? I would love to see that. I think we need to play him until he gets off the mark. I really do think so. Ephraim, Sal, Sesko is doing what strikers do. As long as we give him chance, he will score, and he is passing machine. He is. And he causes a lot of problems in the back line. When you've got Mbeumo, right, whipping that ball in, and you've got a player like Sesko on the end of it, right? Eventually, Sesko's going to get his head to it, and it's going to be a goal. It's a massive, massive route to get a goal, and we're not scoring a lot of goals. So I don't understand why you play Softy Mount, right, in that position, to pass the ball around and keep possession, but no threat on goal. It doesn't make sense, guys. You know, you need a striker up there. You need a focal point up there. And I believe that Sesko should be playing until he gets a goal and beyond. Chassam, we have to get more crosses into the box. To Sesko, 6'6", and he can, yeah, absolutely. We just don't get enough crosses in. The only one that's crossing at the moment, Chasen, is in Bremo. In Bremo is getting that crossing. Dorgu's crossing as well, but his crossing ain't accurate, but he will get better in regards to that. He is a young player. He's only 20 years old. But Ahmad needs to learn to cross the ball. I'm tired of Ahmad dancing on the wing, strictly come dancing on the wing, cut in, cut off, and not getting that bloody ball in the box properly, like a proper whip cross into the box. I don't know whether he's strong enough to do that on his legs. Ephraim, Sal, I hope that the sign midfield in January, we need that position very badly if we want to finish higher in the... I mean, I hope that Man United do address the midfield position in January. I really hope so. Obviously, the midfield position is a very important position that Man United need to concentrate on. And obviously, Brighton are looking to offload Carlos Baleba. They want to sell Carlos Baleba. I spoke about earlier in the week, broken on Stretford Post earlier in the week, that it could be a January deal for Carlos Baleba. Now, I will play that by ear. Let's wait and see. Brighton do want to sell Baleba very, very quickly. Man United could quite possibly agree a deal for Baleba, but not necessarily sign him in January. It could be an obligation to buy in the summer. But I would say that Man United would be very wise to get a midfielder, even if it's someone like Ruben Neves. You know, even if it's someone like that, you know, just to fill in a gap in there, because I think Ruben Neves is still a very good player. I think he's only 27, isn't he? You know, I think he's still a very good player, and I think he could fill in a void in there. And I don't think that would be a bad move for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United, you know. However, I do feel that Man United need to hurry up and get this Baleba deal done. Baleba did play yesterday, didn't he? And it was another poor performance, in my opinion. You know, another poor performance. And what is going on with Baleba that I would say? Look, I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, he obviously wanted to go to Manchester United. That was obviously his dream. He wanted to go to Man United, and it is a lot of people's dream to go to Manchester United, and he didn't get his wish, unfortunately. And, you know, that's not over. But what Baleba should do, in my opinion, is Baleba needs to be professional. Baleba needs to start playing football, because if you don't start playing football, Carlos, you're not going to play for Manchester United, because you know what? Man United think, you know what about that Baleba? Maybe, you know what? He's not really playing well, is he? You know, you need to carry on smashing it, and then Man United will sign you at the end of the day. Because Man United are still very interested in Carlos Baleba. They're still huge admirers of Carlos Baleba. They understand that Carlos Baleba's head's been turned, but if he carries on with the poor performances, Man United are going to go to Brighton. Look, Brighton, here's 50 million, and accept that because he's not playing well. You know what I mean? And they're going to go, no. For what happened to that 80 million that we're going to get? And you say, no, look, he's not really been playing well, has he, all season? And, you know, we need, you know, you need to lower your price now, because you know what? We're taking a risk, you know? What about our young players from the under-21s? Not old enough. Silverstrand, I've just been speaking about the young players in the under-21s. If you watch the show, my friend, I did speak about Shea Lacey. I spoke about Fletcher. I spoke about Ibrahimov. I spoke about Kone so far. I spoke about Kolungi. I spoke about Fredrickson in one show, guys, and it's only been 34 minutes past. So on average, every 3 minutes, I've spoken about a young player in the under-21s, my guy. You know what I mean? So there you go. I spoke about Nusa as well, by the way. And there you go, guys. Not just about signings. I spoke about everyone, of course, guys. If you tune in earlier, you might have catched it. So United players should start targeting Sesko and cross his passes. I think Bremo does that. I just think he's the only one that does that. And I think there's many other players in the team that need to contribute towards that. Dorgu's trying. Dorgu's accuracy is not quite up there yet, but it will be. I remember when David Beckham broke through the scene, and David Beckham's crosses weren't accurate as they were in these latter stages. Became the best crosser in the world, in my opinion. And I would say that we need to be a little patient with Dorgu, but Dorgu at least is trying. There are players in that team who are not trying to cross the ball to the likes of Sesko, and I think they should be trying to cross the ball to Sesko, in my opinion. Big up Silver Strand. It's good to see you again, by the way. Joe Allen, get rid of the old and start the new, and no disrespect to Brentford or Sunderland, but that dating is what we should be. I agree. And if we get 6 points before the international break, then bring on Liverpool. Absolutely. And what a great confidence boost and morale boosting wins that will be for the football team, you know, and for us as well. You know, we will start getting a little bit excited. Wow. I mean, we beat Brentford, it's 2 in a row. You know, we beat Sunderland, which we're perfectly capable of doing. That's 3 in a row. And then we go into the international break. God blimey, this international break drives me mad. I'm fed up with the international break. I don't know about you guys, but this international break is driving me mad. I'm fed up with international breaks. I really am. Guys, Sal, spot on. Sal, spot on. Amram needs to stop favoritism. I think so. And guys, I'm not saying it as it is. I know I know how this world works. In Spain, in Italy, in France, in Portugal, each single country has their favorites because they have the passport. And that is just the way it is. That's just life. You can't get away from that. You know, you got the passport, that's it. Except for England, it's not about the passport. It's about the way you look. Spot on, absolutely. Big up. That is us. Amram. Amram isn't courageous enough to risk youngsters. And this is the thing. And this is exactly what I've been saying, guys. In regards to Ruben Amram and in regards to Senny Lamens. It's not that Senny Lamens is not good enough. We know that Senny Lamens is good enough. It's just that he's not courageous enough to play Senny Lamens. You know, and that's the thing. Senny Lamens could be really killing it in the training, but you know what? He don't want to play him because he's scared to play him. And that you can't be like that at Manchester United. You can't be like that. You can't be like cautious and second guessing at Man United. Absolutely not. Gary, I think United is trying to keep buying their value up by picking him and playing him to raise the value of the Sal. That's all. It's all it is, Sal. It's the Garnacho effect United don't want. Yeah, but then you can't throw Senny Lamens under the bus at the same time. I think we got the gist in regards to buying there. No one is going to want him apart from clubs in Turkey, you know, and they're not going to pay much money for him anyway. I think you run the risk of ruining a player's confidence before it's even started. And that is what I think Man United need to play Senny Lamens. And believe in Senny Lamens. And this is what I would do to Senny Lamens. I say, Senny, come here, mate. Senny, you're the new Manchester United goalkeeper. You're the new Manchester United goalkeeper. I want you between the sticks for the next 10 years, mate. Are you up for it? Show me that you're up for it. Show me that you're the generational goalkeeper. That's why we brought you into this football club. Show me you are the new Schmeichel. Show me you're the new Van der Sar. Show me. I believe in you. You're that man. You're the man to take Man United forward. You're the man who's going to be between the sticks and winning trophies for Man United. Are you up for the task, mate? Go for it. And that's what I would do. Don't let me down. That's what I would do. When I see Bayinde, and I like Bayinde, I think Bayinde's good goalkeeper. That's about it. I don't think he's anywhere near the top 10 goalkeepers in the Premier League. Absolutely not. He's very passive. He comes across like a little bit weak. I don't know about you, but it just comes across like that. He comes across like, even when he's speaking in the press conferences or the interviews, it does come across a little bit like, you know what I mean? You need a domineering fan. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? At the end, there's a goalkeeper. Dabby says, can't blame him. He will be target for the media and fans. Emski, hello, Sal. What happened to the news we were linked with Arda Güler of Madrid? Emski, Man United still have Arda Güler on their wish list. And that's all I can say. It's not the transfer window at the moment. But Man United opted to sign Mbeumo and Cunha, which Arda Güler plays in the same position as them, Emski. So Man United can't sign 20 players. Man United still are interested and still are huge admirers of Güler. I'm a huge admirer of Güler, but Man United have signed the players that they want. When Man United are linked to a player, it doesn't mean that Man United are going to sign that player. It means they're linked to him. It means they want him. He's part of the package. He's part of a list of players. Let me tell you something about players at Man United. There are over 100 players that have captured the interest of Manchester United, right? We narrowed that down to the top 5. I always narrow it down to the top 5. I could give you the 100 players that Man United are interested in. It's a ridiculous list, but I'll be here all day. Guys, so there are a list of about 100 players that Man United want. Arda Güler would be in the top 10, you know? And but Man United think, no, we want a Premier League proven player. We want a player who's played more games. So we want a Mbeumo and we want a Cunha. And they got them. Benny, if we get CM, Mainu, Ugarte and have Bruno on Saturday, Sal, with Cunha. Benny, if we get CM, Mainu, Ugarte and leave Bruno out on Saturday with Cunha, Sesko and Brian and Brown fine, we win against Brentford. You know what? I agree, Benny. I agree 100% with that. I would play Cunha and then Mbeumo and play Mainu in the midfield. I don't know why Bruno's untouchable. You know, it's stat thing, isn't it? Hello, Restus. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Kenny, De Ligt puts in most of the crosses into the box more than our wing backs. Yeah, well, I think Dorgu puts in a lot, but he doesn't get it on target, but he will get better. And Bremo's our highest crosser. Daryl, thanks for skipping my comment. No, it's all good. So like I said, Casemiro, Shaw, Malacia, Bruno, Dalot, Maguire. Sorry, I didn't see your comment, mate. My computer's been fuzzing a little bit sometimes. I'm looking to get a new laptop, guys. When I get a new laptop, there'll be no more fuzzing around because sometimes I click when I click the next comment, it skips about a few. It goes ba 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 ba. It goes down, ba, 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 and then I'm like, oh no, what have I missed? Sorry, Daryl. Respect, my brother. Guys, thanks for skipping my bit. Sorry. Good luck, Sal said Casemiro, Shaw, Malacia, Bruno, Ugarte, Dalot, Maguire. Get into midfield, centre back, left wing back, right wing back. Absolutely, my friend. Big up, Daryl. Good choices, of course. Chasen, Ahmed isn't good at the right-footed crosses, and that's the biggest weakness. He has to cut in, hit a good cross because he doesn't have much skill with the right. I agree to an extent, but he wants to play as the right. That's what I'm hearing. He doesn't see himself as a left winger. That's what I'm hearing. I don't think that playing on the right-hand side stops you from crossing the ball into the box. Look at Mbeumo. You know, you can still get that ball in the box with your left foot. You can still get the ball in the box with your left foot. You can still cut there and cross that, whip that ball in to Sesko. You can still do that. What does Mbeumo do? He whips that ball in from there, doesn't he? It's no excuses for Dalot, for Ahmad. There's no excuses for him. You can whip that ball in with your left foot easy from the right-hand side, you know? And that's the way it is. Great players do that. Great players can do whatever. They play on any side. You know, he's a great player, right? There's big fuss about him, right? I don't see it, but, you know, let's hope he does. And let's hope he starts assisting goals for Sesko. Because Sesko would be one off the mark by now if he actually passed the ball with his left foot to Sesko at the weekend in the box where Sesko's wide open for a tap-in. You know? Sorry, that's just the way it cookie crumbles, of course. Was Euro for the Chelsea scoring? No, not entirely. He should have done better. But I wouldn't say entirely. Absolutely. I saw it online. People saying the people just idiots. They just want to blame. They don't want to blame their favourites, of course. Xavi would never let Ugula leave Madrid. Not in now. We should have got him last season. It'd be difficult for him to leave. But you never know. Money talks. David says. Can we all tap the appreciate button and hit the like button? Bonvex, what's going on, my friend? It's good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream. I hope you're blessed, my guy. I hope you're blessed. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Really good to see you as well, my friend. Good to, as usual, my friend. Guys, look, I look at every single player, and I look at players, and I think, you know what? I don't want to see blame game. I don't want to see excuses. I want to see you're playing for Manchester United. You're playing for one of the top teams in the world. When you picked up that ball as a 6-year-old, right, and you've been kicking that ball all the way up until now, right? Every single day of your life, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. You just need to do the business. You play up front. You create. You score everything. That is what I want my midfield to do, and that is my biggest concern with Mason Mount, for example. Mason Mount is good at the press. He's good at little good at little tiki-taka, little passes and stuff like that. But Mount is not a threat. He's not a threat. We don't score goals with Mason Mount. I would much rather have Mbeumo in the ball and whip that ball into the box and Sesko getting on the end of it. That is what I want, rather than, oh yeah, look, as long as we keep the ball, we keep it safe, and that's what we need to do. I'm tired of the safe. We've got to stop being safe. Man United were never safe. You know what? Greatness was never achieved with comfort zones. With comfort zones, guys. You need to be little bit more brave. Not just think about how can we persevere, how can we preserve, how can we preserve? How can we not lose? You know, and that is where we get to Gareth Southgate territory. More concentrated on not losing than actually concentrating on winning the game. And we got people out there comparing Ruben Amorim with Gareth Southgate. It's a blasphemy, in my opinion, but I've seen it on social media. People comparing Ruben Amorim with Gareth Southgate and saying that Ruben Amorim is a safe manager. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I saw Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon. He had a lot of young players in there. What's going on, Ruben? Let's go and get it, Ruben. Let's try and win the game. It's only Brentford, mate. We got bigger fish to fry. We need to go out there and we need to win the game against Brentford, my man. And we move on from there, of course. Brentford are no mugs. They drew against Chelsea, didn't they? So that we have to be careful of Brentford. But you know what? They drew away from home as well. What I would say is this, right? I want basically Man United to go out there on Saturday and absolutely tear the doors off, blow the doors off, blow the bloody doors off Michael Caine and win that game. Absolutely. Sal, do you think we need to sign a centre-back? Not at the moment. No, I think our centre-back position is perfect. I think we're fine. Licha, Aiden Heaven, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Euro. 5 centre-backs for 3. I think that's good enough. And then you're looking at Fredrickson and Kolungi and the younger players coming through. I think we're fine in defence. I don't think defence is a problem. However, I would say the wing-back positions need to be, that is still up for grabs. I think the wing-back positions is still up for grabs, in my opinion. I would say that, definitely. Right wing back in particular, I believe in Dorgu. I think Dorgu is going to be a very good player. You'll see, guys, and you'll be scrolling back to me. No apologies, but you will see Dorgu going to smash it, right? But in regards to the right wing back position, guys, we need to buy a new right wing back. I did predict the team that I expect Man United to be next season. I know it's a bit of a long shot, but I did play Vanderson in there. And I think that is the type of signing that Man United need to do. Someone who can defend and bring it forward. If you don't want to bring in Vanderson, again, I'm going to speak about the under-21s, guys. Bring in Mantato. Bring him in, slowly nurture him into the team, and we go from there, of course. 39 likes, guys. Can we get to 50 likes? It's all about to get to 50 likes. 101 in the house, guys. We need to get to 50 likes, guys. Very important. Please get to 50 likes, and we go from there. Thank you so much, guys. Every morning, 50 without fail, guys. 50 without fail. Emski, Sal, we need to back the coach. Yep, we the fans put pressure on him, making him to prioritize certain players for the sake of results. This affects the young and the new players. What we need to say, it works both ways, Emski. Criticism is part of the game. We can't be a snowflake. Criticism is part of the game. I would urge Ruben Amorim to not be cowardice, because he is sometimes. And I think he plays things to be safe. As I said earlier in the show, right, you cannot win anything with comfort zones. You have to sometimes do things that are out of character, that you're like, I need to win this game. I need to be. And that is what we need to do. That is perfectly understandable. As long as it doesn't get into the realms of abuse, if it doesn't get into the realms of abuse, then that's fine. I believe in a manager. You believe in a manager. We all believe in a manager. But that's not to say that we can't come in with suggestions for him to prove it, especially me, who's been older than Ruben Amorim and been watching Manchester United a lot longer than he has been doing. So I would say that, you know what, and I've got my coaching badges as well, so he can't say that. So at the end of the day, what I would say is that, you know, what he needs to do, he needs to just be a little bit more brave. And you know what, even if it's a player that you feel, oh, you know, just try and do that. I believe in him. We all believe in him. And we hope he does well. We're not slandering him. We're not criticizing him. I like the guy and I want him to succeed. I like his personality. I really do. And it's just like Bruno. It's just like Bruno. You know, I think Bruno should be moved on, but I want Bruno to lift the Premier League because I think he deserves it. You know, because every time he comes into the team, he works his socks off, you know. But it's not good for the team because he's ill-disciplined in his position, you know. Ephraim, Sal, I think Mazraoui has to start and a wing-back. Ahmad has to come back off from the bench. Mazraoui, I'm not sure because his attacking threat is 0. He doesn't have a good attacking threat. Man United need to think about that as well. But I do agree to an extent. That is a perseverance. This is why Man United need a right wing back. This is why Man United need a right wing back. This is why we're banging the drum about a right wing back. This is why we need it, because obviously we don't have one. I think Mazraoui is a better centre back. I'm a big fan of Euro. I wouldn't give up on Euro. I know that he had a dodgy little spell against Chelsea, but he's a young lad. He's going to make mistakes. There's a reason that Real Madrid wanted Lenny Euro. There's a reason why he wanted Lenny Euro, because he's one of the best defenders in the world at his age. Ephraim, 8 likes for 50. Come on, guys. Ephraim, thank you. Guys, what's going on? 100 people in line, guys. Oh God, we got 42 likes. We need at least 50 likes, guys, and we need more than that. We need to push it up. Let's challenge the powers that be. Let's keep smashing them likes, guys. Very, very important, guys. Let's keep it moving, guys. Absolutely. But I thank everyone. Guys, look, you know what I would say? Opinion is about football. Football is about opinion. You know what I mean? And I would say that, you know, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to be patronizing in regards to what I'm saying, but what I would say is that criticism is important in football. Criticism in general is important in life. As long as the criticism is constructive, as long as it's not abusive, everyone has the right to have an opinion. And what I would say is that whilst Man United are not where we need to be, we can come up with suggestions, especially the people who have been around since the 90s and the late 80s and beyond that, who've seen success, You've seen the evolution of Man United. You've seen Man United become the best team in the world a couple of times, which I have done. I know what is needed. And I know what, I was made to eat my words a number of times with Alex Ferguson. A number of times, because you know what? When we sold players, when we moved players on, when people gave up on Alex Ferguson, not only one time, guys. People didn't give up on Alex Ferguson one time. They gave up on Alex Ferguson a few times, guys. Let's not forget that. When Alex Ferguson brought through the class of 92, people were saying that, has he lost it? You know? There's many times, even at the turn of the century, guys, 2004, 2005, people were saying, oh, is Alex Ferguson past it? What did Alex Ferguson do? He won the league 3 times in a row and won the Champions League. You know, what I'm saying is this, right? I've seen it and I know what Ruben Amorim needs to do. I believe in Ruben Amorim, and I think most of us do believe in Ruben Amorim. I think we do need to have this conversation a lot, you know, because if we act like everything's rosy in the garden, it's not going to work, is it, guys? It's really not going to work, you know, and we won't improve. We won't improve. We need to hold Man United up to high standards. There's players there who are standing on the shoulders of giants, including the manager. Standing on the shoulders of giants, and we need to perform, guys, because they got an elevation there. They got an advantage there. They're on the shoulders of giants. Brentford don't stand on the shoulders of giants. Brentford stand in League 2 and League 1. That's where Brentford stand. When I was living in East London in the 90s, you know where Brentford were? The old Division 3. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Brentford don't have a history. They have playoff history. That's all they have. You know what I mean? And this is why I would say that we need to believe. And we need to say that you need to take chances. You need to be brave. You need to be bold at Man United. You know, greatness wasn't achieved through comfort zones. And that's what I would say all day long, you know? But guys, look, you know, I believe in Man United and I believe we will win the game on Saturday. As I know, my match preview is coming out tomorrow. Can't wait for it, guys. I'm going to give you my team. I'm going to give you my score line, everything like that. Generally, I've been pretty good. I got the score line against Chelsea correct. As people know, I said 2-1 to Man United. I'm gonna give you my prediction tomorrow, and it's gonna be a one that you're gonna laugh. But you know what? I'm gonna say it anyway tomorrow. But guys, you know what I would say is this, right? Every single one of us want what's best for the football club. That's what we want at the end of the day. VJ, good morning. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Just remember, because of what hose. I mean, it's not about the hose. It's about what are we talking about? Jay-Z here is at the end of the day. We have Glazers. We need an experienced striker like Van Persie, Roy Keane, or Van Per. Is it Van Per? Or is it Van Per, Roy Keane? Oh, which one is it? Big up, VJ. I think if we need a centre back, we should go for Luke Caber. I think we got some good. Luke Caber's a good player. But I think we got a good enough centre back positions. Lenny Euro would be the best defender in Germany if he's in Germany right now. Let me tell you, De Ligt would be the best defender in Germany if he's in Germany right now. Mazraoui would probably be one of the best defenders in Germany if he's in Germany right now. Man United have a decent defence. Ephraim, I don't think we should be concentrating on defenders at the moment unless it's a right wing back or left wing back. So is Amorim starting Bruno in midfield to prove people are wrong? Amorim is a very stubborn fella, and I don't mind it. I think every manager is stubborn. Even Potter is stubborn. Alex Ferguson was stubborn. I think that it's not so much that he wants to prove a point. I think he believes that Bruno Fernandes can play there. He believes that. And what I would say is that, what can I do? What can I do? I can't say anything more than that. I just say, all right, mate, whatever you want to do, that's what you want to do. All right. And that's the way it is. And that's the way it is, guys. Whatever he wants to do, he can do, you know, and he just has to get results. And that starts with Saturday against Brentford. And as I said, guys, I did say it. I'm not going to put too much weight into the Chelsea game because obviously Man United have started games very well in the past and faded away a little bit. I would say that when Chelsea went down to 10 men, I was a little bit disappointed because I felt Man United started well and I felt Man United would have won the game anyway, in my opinion. But I do think that the red card adds a little bit of doubt, doesn't it? Because we did fall off in the second half. I know we went down to 10 men as well, but we did fall off. It was 10 against 10 and we fell off. You know, it wasn't 11 against 10. So what I would say is that this Brentford game marks a very, very important moment in the season, because we win this Brentford game, then then we can say, well, maybe we've turned a corner. We don't usually beat Brentford. Maybe we turn a corner and that's it. If we don't beat Brentford, then people are going to be with the same old tune. They're going to be singing from the same hymn sheet, and we're going to be like doubting Ruben Amorim, ain't we? So I would say that he does need to get a result on Saturday, and he does need to solidify some form, and make sure we win 2 in a row and get rid of that narrative. He hasn't won 2 in a row. Oh, he hasn't won 2 in a row. Oh, he hasn't won 2 in a row. We need to get rid of that silly little narrative, and that's what I would do. And I believe he will. I absolutely believe he will. Guys, absolutely. Benny, did I read that we have created the most chances in the league this year and have the lowest conversion rate? Yes, we have the best SG, mate. So I give you an example, guys, right? And this is what's frustrating for me, because you know who gets the blame? The manager gets the blame. When Benjamin Sesko has an open goal, right? And we don't pass the ball to Benjamin Sesko, right? That's what we're talking about here. Having the best XG, but not having a conversion rate, right? This is what we're talking about here. If Man United just increased their conversion rate by a few percentage, guys, there will be a huge improvement in that football team. Absolutely. Greatest mystery is, does he change the centre-backs in a game? We need a constant back three. Fergie never changed the centre-backs. He did. Was you around, VJ? Henningberg, David May? He used to change it all the time. He used to always rotate his centre-backs. Ronnie Johnson. Yeah. That was just in the 98-99 season. At the big games, he would play Vidic and he would play Stam and Ronnie Johnson, but he would rotate it. It's not a mystery, VJ, if you understand football, why he does it. I understand it. If you understand, yes, he did, VJ. I was around. He did change it in the game. He did. I was around then, VJ. So stop trying to be smart, bruv. You know what I mean? He changes it because he needs to find a partnership in his defense that fits the system, right? That's why he changes it. He's trying to rotate. If you watched him at Sporting Lisbon, which you probably haven't, he did rotate his defense quite often. He had Quotes there, and he got rid of Quotes, and he brought in Diamande, and that's what he would do to try and work it out. And eventually he got it, and it worked, at the end of the day. He does do that in the game, VJ. That's what he does at the end of the day. So what? It's nothing to do with why we're not winning games. We were already losing to Man City when he changed the defense and stuff. It doesn't really matter, mate. At the end of the day, no one is exempt from being dropped. And that's what it is. And if he wants to build his team around, he wants to build from the back and he wants to see what's the best partnership, why, that's the only time we can try it. And that's the end of the day. I know where you're going. Look, at the end of the day, VJ, your knowledge of football is a bit like speaking to my 5-year-old nephew. And it's very difficult. I have to do Google Gaga language. And I'm sorry, VJ, but that's what I have to do with you, man. Every time you come on here, you come in with an analogy that doesn't make sense. Why does he change the formation? Why does he do that? Why does he do this? Why has he got the best XG and not scoring goals? Why don't you say something like that, which is a bit more, guys. Roy Keane played as a right back as well, Benny. Unfortunately, some people who are chuff monsters wouldn't know this. You know what I mean? And that's what they are. Chuff monsters, VJ, get over it, mate. That has nothing to do with what the results, in my opinion. The problem with Man United, the biggest problem with Man United is players not making the right decisions in the final third. That is the problem with Man United, like I've been talking about with Ten Hag, with the 4-3-3 with Ten Hag. Right now, players are not making the right decisions in the final third. Look at Sesko at the weekend, wide open, ball weren't passed to him. Why do we have the highest XG but the lowest conversion rate? Is that because of Ruben Amorim? Was it Ruben Amorim who didn't say pass the ball there? And that's what we're talking about. Ruben Amorim's rotating his defense. He's trying to find the best partnership for his defense and trying to find a different way of winning, because the Glazers and Ninos, if you really care about the Glazers and the Ninos thing, did not buy him a squad. He bought him a few forward players, and that's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And he's trying to do things. And he's heralded as a genius, isn't he? When Harry Maguire scores against Lyon, isn't it? At the end of the day. But that's just the way people are. Fickle as F. Guys, thank you so much. Big up Ephraim. Take it easy. Guys, I really appreciate you as usual. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Guys, Chasen, our back line isn't the issue. Our midfield causes a lot of goals and we suffer rarely. Our centre-backs, exactly. We got a very good bunch of centre-backs. It doesn't matter which partnerships play. People just want to want to be doom and gloom merchants, guys. They want to be doom and gloom merchants because they don't like Ruben Amorim. And I hate teaching these people, but you know what? I wish I could take them by the ear like this to the past and teach them about what we are. But guys, thank you so much, guys. I'm really blessed to have you here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Really appreciate you. Big up, Arman. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again. 50 likes, guys. What's going on? Why have we got 50 likes? Don't forget to smash the likes, guys. You know, guys, listen, mate, if Rio is pointing it out, not just me. Anyway, love the bullying people. Enjoy it. VJ, no one is bullying you, you little snowflake. Stop it, mate. Stop it. They're bullying me. Shut up. No one is bullying you, mate. Rio Ferdinand doesn't know what he's talking about. Rio Ferdinand was like, guitar's coming tomorrow. Guitar's coming tomorrow. You believe him? Just because it's Rio Ferdinand doesn't mean that he's right. You know, at the end of the day, I was around with Alex Ferguson. And I knew that Alex Ferguson rotated his defense many, many times. He had Carrick and Fletcher in the defense sometimes. You know what I mean? Don't cry, mate. It's not the end of it. It's not that deep. I think that our like Jed Spence would really boost our service. Absolutely. Benny, my comment on the XG. Guys, XG was a bit sarcastic. We have best XG, but it's the manager fault. We are not scoring. We are doing extremely well. And when it clicks, it boom. Exactly, Benny. You know, exactly, mate. VJ, despite myself, VJ, go out there, achieve something, brother. Don't come on this stream to piss me off, mate. Don't come on this stream to piss me off. Otherwise, you'll never be here again. And I don't care, mate. You understand? You know, I don't care, mate. You know what I mean? Don't come on there crying like a baby, mate, because at the end of the day, I'm telling you something and you just come on there every single day, bringing down the manager. That's what you do. That's what you do. You're like a predictable, mate. You're predictable, bruv. And that's what I say, you know, and you come out with that. And then when I counter it, you're like, no, he didn't. He didn't do it during the game. No, he didn't. Mate, you weren't around then. Listen to people that know more than that's what I'm saying, man. Benny, big up, Benny. Hope you're well. Do you think that we'll beat Brentford on Saturday, mate? Yes, I do. Oh, man, I think we will. And I think we have to. I think we have to, mate. I think we do. Have a nice day, Ephraim. Take it easy, mate. Good to have you all in the stream. People don't come on here to just make a point and stick to it and don't listen, but it's just the way it is. VJ, I respect your opinion. Let me just tell you that by now. I respect your opinion, but it's not true. And that's the end of it. And I've schooled you about this before, you know, and at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim's our manager. Support the manager. Because if you don't support the manager, you're falling into the Ineos and the Glazer trap. And that's what you're doing. And you're not that, mate. So don't fall into that. I'm going to give it tomorrow, my friend. Oh, man, I'm going to give it tomorrow. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. Put your notifications on. Thank you, guys. Guys, you know what? Thank you, man. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Easy, brother. Have a good day. And guys, don't forget to join me later on for Chatterbox, or I might be back later on for Devil's Digest as well. So don't forget to join me for that as well, guys. And take it easy. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your morning, evening, night. And we go from there, guys. Thank you so much, Arman. You too, brother. And I'll see you later on for Chatterbox or Devil's Digest. Keep your notifications on. Peace.